am a married woman. I'm chewing on about 30 carats. Chomp, chomp.
There were stories coming out about Christian being a scammer, but she got married to this fool. She's dumb as
Oh my.
Jennifer Williams, known to many for her glamorous lifestyle and television appearances, recently found herself in a much different spotlight. Cameras captured her brushing away tears outside a courthouse, not as part of a scripted reality show, but in the middle of a real-life legal battle. Her husband, Christian, who once promised her love, trust, and a peaceful future, is now heading to federal prison. This isn't just a story about a failed relationship, it's a roller coaster of secrets, heartbreak, betrayal, and consequences that no one saw coming. Behind the pretty pictures and public smiles was a storm building in silence. Now, everything has come crashing down in full view of the world. Jennifer and Christian's relationship began like a fairy tale.
Your felon is currently stealing money from people today, tomorrow, yesterday.
Whatever you say.
Their love was announced with sweet captions, matching outfits, and professional photos. Jennifer often called Christian her rock, praising him for being calm, respectful, and someone she could always count on. He seemed happy being behind the scenes, supporting her as she took center stage. But that quiet image of a supportive partner may have masked a very different truth. People close to the couple began to notice things that didn't feel quite right. Christian often looked uncomfortable at public events. His smiles didn't reach his eyes, and in private, he seemed distant. Friends began whispering about his withdrawal from social circles. He stopped chatting in group messages and avoided talking about his personal life. Some even noticed that he seemed nervous around Jennifer, like he was constantly trying to say the right thing or looking for her approval before speaking. Back then, nobody asked too many questions. People just assumed he was dealing with the pressures of being in a high-profile relationship. But things weren't just tense, they were unraveling. What no one knew was that Christian had been quietly collecting information for years. Long before the situation went public, he had been saving emails, taking screenshots, and recording conversations. He even wrote down details in a notebook, describing emotional pain and control he claimed to experience in the relationship. According to Christian, Jennifer had full control over their finances. He said she restricted his access to money, questioned every expense, and used her financial power to influence how he felt and behaved. He also accused her of making him feel small and isolating him emotionally. To the outside world, he smiled for social media, but behind closed doors, he was suffering. Christian finally decided to tell his side of the story. He filed court documents and released text messages, emails, and audio recordings. Some of the content suggested arguments over money and control. The internet went wild. Some people believed him. Others thought the timing seemed suspicious. Still, it was clear there was much more going on than anyone had imagined. Instead of simply moving on, Christian took a drastic step. He officially filed legal claims, accusing Jennifer of emotional manipulation and financial misconduct involving their shared assets. He backed his accusations with documents and recordings. This wasn't just a bitter breakup, this was now a serious legal battle. Jennifer quickly responded. She denied the accusations and said Christian was trying to ruin her name. She claimed he was harassing her and damaging her career by spreading lies. She even requested a restraining order for her safety and peace of mind. She didn't stay silent, she fought back hard. The case exploded in the media. Court files, recorded conversations, and emails started leaking online. What was once a private relationship turned into a public disaster. But just when people thought Jennifer's reputation was going to be destroyed, everything flipped. As the judge began looking more deeply into both sides of the story, something unexpected came to light. The attention turned away from Jennifer and toward Christian. Investigators started examining Christian's financial records more carefully. That's when red flags started appearing. It turned out Christian hadn't been entirely honest. The same evidence he used to accuse Jennifer was now being questioned not for what it said, but for how he got it. Christian was caught forging Jennifer's signature on legal agreements involving money and shared businesses. He had changed dates on financial records, created false documents, and secretly transferred money into accounts under his own name. He even applied for credit using Jennifer's identity. The evidence showed a deliberate pattern of fraud. Then, another layer of the story was revealed, one that stunned everyone. A woman came forward, claiming she had been in a relationship with Christian during his marriage to Jennifer. But it wasn't just a cheating scandal. This woman had proof that Christian had been planning to take Jennifer down long before they ended up in court. She shared text messages and voice notes where Christian talked about building a legal case against his wife. He told her he was collecting information to protect himself and flipped the story. The very recordings he had once presented as proof of abuse were now being exposed as edited, misleading, or completely out of context. One clip, where Jennifer was supposedly yelling at Christian, was actually taken from several different conversations pieced together to look worse than it really was. With all this new evidence, the truth was finally coming to light. In the end, Christian was found guilty on multiple charges: fraud, identity theft, document forgery, and misleading the court. The judge didn't hold back. He called out Christian for using the legal system as a weapon and for trying to twist the truth to hurt someone he once loved. As the sentence was announced, Jennifer sat quietly in the courtroom. She had stayed calm for most of the trial, but when she saw Christian being led away in handcuffs, her emotions poured out. Cameras caught her, wiping her face as she left the building, not for attention, but because the weight of everything had finally hit her. Her tears weren't for show. This time, they were real. Once the verdict was announced, the public immediately split into two camps. Some people praised Jennifer for standing strong, calling her a survivor who had been wrongly accused. They sent kind messages, saying they admired her strength and hoped she could now heal in peace. But others weren't convinced. They questioned why she hadn't said anything earlier. Some felt there were still missing pieces. A few even accused her of playing the victim or pretending to be unaware of Christian's behavior. Comment sections were filled with mixed opinions. One person wrote, "This whole thing just feels strange. There's something we still don't know." Another added, "He tried to frame her, and karma came back fast." Others hoped Jennifer would reflect on everything and take time to heal. Jennifer's team worked quickly to manage the damage. Her public statements focused on healing, truth, and letting the legal process do its job. She went quiet on social media, turning off comments and stepping away from the spotlight for a while. Behind the scenes, her crisis team was busy. They contacted brands, reviewed contracts, and made plans to rebuild her image. Jennifer was having meetings, discussing her future projects, and trying to figure out how to move forward without making the situation worse. There were rumors that she might sit down for a major interview to tell her story. Some even said a documentary crew had already started filming during the final weeks of the trial. Whether those reports are true or not, one thing is certain: Jennifer's next move will shape what happens from here. Jennifer was once known for her confidence, elegance, and luxury lifestyle. Now, people are asking questions about who she really is behind the glam. The court case didn't just end a relationship. It revealed the emotional, financial, and personal costs of living life in the public eye. Famous couples often look perfect online, but when things fall apart, the world watches. Every fight, every post, and every voicemail becomes part of the story. And once the public turns its attention on you, it's hard to escape the spotlight, even after the cameras stop rolling. Jennifer's name was dragged through headlines. Old relationships were brought up. Her loyalty was questioned. Now that Christian is behind bars, the healing won't just involve legal wins. It will mean finding peace and learning how to live without having to prove herself to anyone. Will she rebuild her life, reclaim her space in the public eye, and share her truth in a way no one expects? Or has this experience closed a chapter she never intended to open? Jennifer has faced dramatic storylines before, but this time, the pain was very real. Her journey ahead will show whether she remains a cautionary tale or someone who grows stronger from the pain. So what do you think? Was she the victim, the mastermind, or someone caught in between? This story is far from over, and you'll want to be here for whatever happens next. Leave your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more updates.